My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now.
Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramer America. I'll be my friends. I'm just trying to make you a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but to explain and teach. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me, Jim Cramer. We have stocks that are possibly headed to the moon, or maybe they're headed to the sun. That's what's become of this market. We have speculation all over the place, more than I have seen in ages. And I can't figure out whether it's the success of Bitcoin, the joy of hunting for the next NVIDIA, or the widespread belief, rightly or wrongly, that Trump's second term means happy days are here again for all sorts of stocks, even the most risky and some would say flimsy of enterprises. I do know this. It's been a wild couple of weeks where a lot of stocks have soared with no reckoning whatsoever, including today, where the Dow gained 426 points to an all-time high. S&P climbed 0.35%, and the Nasdaq, which is lagged of late, advanced 0.16%. Can it continue? Well, isn't that the... Oh, my God. You look at how high things are. Why don't we do this? Let's go to the game plan. We'll do a little pondering, okay? Now, next week is historically just one hell of a week. Remember when you were, like, in high school and elementary school, whatever it was, and you would do this? Well, this fall doesn't allow you to do it. That's what you learned. Okay, Thanksgiving tends to unleash the animal spirits of the market in a very positive way. I'm no killjoy. I won't tell you to not buy buzzed or to designate someone in your family as the sober buyer. But there's getting to be a little too much speculation for me. And if we don't deal with it, if I don't talk about it, it's going to become a problem. I got to get ahead of it. With that in mind, what's happening on Monday? First, let's hope this Bitcoin takes out 100,000 already so we can stop talking about it. Long live Bitcoin, but this one's on the president-elect. And the idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve and all the people who justify buying it up here because they didn't own it any other way below here. As long as it's legal, I'm all in. But understand, I have nothing to offer on Bitcoin's $100,000 price tag, nor does anybody else, by the way, except to say this. This is what happens when there are more buyers than sellers. How about stocks? All right, there's a heck of a lot going on. Retail earnings season continues on Monday with Bath and Body Works. These guys held e-commerce competitors much longer. They held them at bay much longer than other mall-based retailers. But the stock's been out of favor for a couple of years now. Believe it or not, the company's last two quarters have been okay. But both times, Bath & Body Works gave discouraging forward outlooks that crushed the stock. It's fallen from the low 50s at the end of May to around $30 now. Have expectations finally come down enough? If they can give us some positive commentary on the holidays, then it would go a long way in this market. After the close, we hear from Zoom Video, and this is one of those companies where the people who are shorting the stock are panicking right now, and the buyers smell blood in the water. Zoom's got a lot of irons in the fire, but it doesn't always seem like it has a lot of irons in the fire. This time, though, in this highly speculative market, it might finally matter if they beat by 2 or 3 pennies. Tuesday's a huge day for retail. In the morning alone, we've got Best Buy, Abercrombie & Fitch, Kohl's, Macy's, Burlington Stores, and Dick's Sporting Goods. Whew. Now, we've seen a bunch of retailers report not so hot numbers, yet in many cases, their stocks still roared. Meanwhile, others, like Target, get clubbed like baby seals. It's treacherous to start buying these now because many of these stocks have run mightily in the last few days. Take Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, this one jumped 8 points just today. Is that good because it's a sign that numbers will be great, or is it bad because it's borrowed upside? I'm betting it's actually the former, because Dick's is a category killer, and there aren't that many of these left. Williams-Sonoma comes to mind. I think Dick's can pull it off. But is Best Buy still a category killer? We trimmed some of our position for the Chapel Trust this week after a big gain because we listened to the home repair tales of woe that we got from Home Depot and Lowe's. This one is what I call too fraught. Then again, the shorts are on the run, and no one really expects much from Best Buy. So if it gives us anything good at all, then it's to the moon Corey. That's Corey Barry, the CEO of Best Buy. Man, how old do you have to be to get that honeymooners reference? The Hills are now younger than I am. Abercrombie bombed last quarter. After listening to the success that is Gap last night, I don't think that A&F gets it wrong twice. They're too good for that. Kohl's, let's just say guilty until proven innocent. Let's hear what they have to say about Sephora, which I think is the main reason to go to the store, now that Kohl's cash seems to have lost its allure like Confederate dollars. Next up, Tony Spring, the CEO of Macy's, knows that his chain makes an incredible amount of money in the next 30 days. This quarter is simply a prelude to Macy's season. If he can tell a good story about the Bloomingdaleization of the chain, that's Bloomingdaleization, I guess, really, then his stock will build on today's lead. I mentioned that because Tony is from Bloomingdale's, and he did such a great job there, and I am pulling for this guy. TJX and Ross Stores both reported good numbers, and I doubt that Burlington Stores will be any different. Well, that makes for a terrific trade. We have a food stock reporting, too. J.M. Smucker. Let me talk about this. The market doesn't seem to like the food stocks anymore, does it? But maybe they're, at this point, overly hated? Wall Street doesn't like that Smucker seemingly paid too much for Hostess brands when it shelled out $5.6 billion for the property that's known as the king of junk food. But in this market, if Smucker can simply deliver inline numbers, the stock could soar because of all those Twinkie bashers who would be, quote, leaning the wrong way. In other words, shorting the stock when they shouldn't be. After the close, we have some big tech names reporting, including some that we own for a Travel Trust. CrowdStrike, Dell Technologies, Workday. I think we might see these go 3-4-3. CrowdStrike's been on a charm offensive, that's George Kurtz. Ever since that summer glitch heard around the world, I believe that CEO Kurtz has a free pass to say how the company's doing. So it might be a real good time to buy it ahead of the quarter. Maybe pick some up this day. Palo Alto, by the way, it also did well yesterday. People didn't get it. The quarter was 2 days ago. The quarter was actually very good. Okay, my Travel Trust owns both, and it's worth going over our investing bulletin on the quarter that is Palo Alto, so you actually know what happens versus what the stock is saying, because the stock is wrong. Dell is the best partner of NVIDIA when it comes to implementation of Blackwell, which is the new generation of AI chips. I buy some now, and then I buy some after it pulls back. And, hey, if the stock doesn't come in after it, well, then you still got a good position on. I am a huge believer in Michael Dell, and I think we're lucky to be able to invest alongside him. Workday. Easy. It's enterprise software, and suddenly the world loves enterprise software as much as they hated enterprise software earlier in the year. Workday was there early. It's a winner in the human resources and financial spaces within the enterprise. Now, here's a really important one. After the close, HP reports, and I want to know the truth here. If the AI PC is really doing as well as expected, then I don't think it is. And I think it might not be. And we need to know why. Here's a question. Is Microsoft's Copilot a useless appendage like Clippy? You know that Mark Benioff thinks so. He's been talking about it for ages on Twitter. You ought to check it out. I say truth is wanted here. I wish there was more to say. Stocks have historically been a done deal after Tuesday. But we do have a key Fed number, the personal consumption expenditure, PCE. Now, we know the economy's been running hotter than the Fed would like. There's talk that we have no need for December rate cut. It's a very tough call, especially because long-term rates, including mortgage rates, have been climbing since the Fed started cutting. You know, it's supposed to go the other way. So a cool PCE number could cause still one more eruption higher. A hot one, though, we might see a rollback in some of the most speculative stocks. That's what I'm concerned about going into the weekend, bottom line. If you have huge profits in the month of November, could you do me a favor? I would show a little thanks next week and take something off the table in your most risky positions. You and I will certainly feel better about it later on. How about we go to Susie in California? Susie.
I'm Susie here. I don't know you said my name. Hey, I love watching this show and all the fun you seem to have punching those buttons and talking stocks. Electricity and power generation through a variety of segments, retail, Texas, East, West, and asset closure. It's had a great run since August 2023 from 28 to 162. In fact, when I first heard you talk about the stock in September, it was 112, but I didn't buy it as I knew nothing about the sector. What do you like about Vistra, and what tells you it was a good investment?
Okay, so let's say you're listening to it. Thank you for that, Susie. If you're looking at, if you went over NVIDIA's call yesterday, there's a part where Jensen says, listen, the CEO, we just don't have enough power in this country to handle all these chips. And people say, okay, well, who does? And the one that always comes to mind is Vistra. So every time somebody says something good, there are buyers who come in and buy Vistra. At this point, Susie, I'm going to say heresy. I'm going to say enough. Let's let this one come in. Or more importantly, let it go up now without me. I don't want to continue to support something that is up this much because I have to worry about what happens now when it goes down. I need to speak to Randall in North Carolina. Randall.
Booyah, Jim. I have two items here. First, I would like to thank you for bringing my attention to NVIDIA a while back. It's been very positive. And in honor of that, I want to name my next dog Cramer. Second.
Holy cow. I mean, I would love that. But remember, it's not the Cramer from Seinfeld. It's the actual Cramer. Okay, go ahead.
Got it. Second, how do you see the possible turnaround of Boeing stock BA? I've got some statistics here. You know, it's supposed to be profitable in 2025.
Right.
Orders are coming in. They lost $6 billion in the third quarter. the 737 MAX.
Okay, I'm pulling for Kelly Ortberg. I'm pulling for Kelly. I think that they can get. I mean, he gave a pretty encouraging talk, I felt, this week, but it was also very sober. But you know what I have to say? I say, why do we need to worry about the entry point in Boeing when we can just stay with NVIDIA? And I want to I talked to another NVIDIA millionaire yesterday, someone who watched the show and just became a millionaire from NVIDIA. It's Jensen that's doing it. We just talk about the news. The market's been a great run here. And if you have some big profits, you know what, for this month? I'm actually now begging. I would get on my hands and knees, but I'm really tired. Take something off the table, please. All Mad Money tonight. Could the natural gas industry be a Trump trade to watch? I'm telling you where I stand and give you some stocks to keep on your radar. Then as earnings season winds down, I'm recapping the latest retail reports, sharing my takeaways about the state of the consumer. And later, I'm taking Cramerican calls as we play MI, diversified. So make sure your portfolio is positioned even in a market where it just seems like nothing ever goes down. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.